Welcome back to Jolly Darling Travel. If you've clicked on this vlog, you are here to get ready with me and also hear all about the Disney treasure. So I already did my hair off camera because I have extensions and it's kind of a process, but I can always give you the information. If you're interested in it, just comment down below. So let's first, before we get into the meat of the vlog, let's talk about my skincare. Because I am an esthetician, a makeup artist, I am really serious about my skin. So I am going to start with Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Hydrator Spray. And if you're a Disney fan, this smells exactly like the Disney smell that we all know and love. Next, I'm going to go in with Charlotte Tilbury's Eye Cream. Then I'm going to use my Sunday Riley CEO Afterglow. This is a vitamin C lotion, and let me tell you, I'm obsessed. Sorry, I got some of that in my throat. I'm obsessed with this lotion. I literally go through jars and jars of this. Your vitamin C is way more useful during the day than at night. So just a quick little tip if you are using it that way. I always mix in my Supergoop sunscreen because, hey, you have to have your sunscreen. I know I'm not super diligent when I'm in the parks. I have my thoughts on that, but we can always get into that in another vlog. And next, I am going to be using my PCA Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Boosting Serum. I've been obsessed with this, especially since we live in a frozen tundra at the moment. And I also do PCA facials at my salon. So I'm going to throw this on. Okay, hang on. Let's do this quick. All right, so the reason you clicked on this vlog was because you were interested in my Disney Treasure preview sailing. So basically, I went on that preview sailing December 12th to December 15th. And if you're wondering how I got on that preview sailing, because I'm obviously not media, not an influencer, not a Disney executive, but I am a Disney travel professional. So when I am not at my salon, I am busy helping people plan their Disney trips, hence Jolly Darling Travel. So anyhow, I was picked along with another agent from my agency, and we were able to experience the second sailing. The first preview sailing, so see, I'm mixing this in. The first preview sailing took place, I believe, the first week in December, but you had to be like a big vlogger, like Mammoth Club was on there. I don't know who else was on there, but there were a lot of people on that sailing, a lot of big time Disney executives. However, I wasn't on that one, but nonetheless, I still got chosen to go on the second Disney Treasure sailing. Now, I will be really honest with you. I had a struggle editing those vlogs. I really was trying to pay a lot of attention. It was, you know, the trip itself, that was a gratis trip. I didn't have to, you know, come out of pocket for it. And I felt like this is part of my business. I really want to make sure that I'm getting as much footage as humanly possible. Well, in retrospect, I am new to vlogging and I had a corrupt SD card, and I personally didn't realize it until I came home, because I think sometimes I'm just in the moment of filming, and I really, this has all been a learning experience. So anyhow, if you watch the Disney Treasure videos that I do have up, you'll notice that there is some glitching, there's some issues in the footage. I've been working through it. I learned Final Cut all on my own. So it was a great learning experience. However, I really scrapped the last two vlogs, and I'm sad to do that, but maybe I'll cut some footage in here. But I feel like in 2025, I'm ready to up the game in this channel. And so I just didn't feel like it was fitting my vibe. So anyhow, that's to explain what happened to the last two vlogs. All right, before we get into that, really quickly, I'm gonna start. I don't wear foundation. So basically, I just mix in some of the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Skin. I pretty much just kind of pop it right here, right here, and right here. Sometimes I'll go right there. Now I'm going to take this Tarte Double Duty Beauty, and I can't see the color, so I'll list it below. I usually take this light, it's the hydrating one. I put it right here in the center. Then I go in with a darker Tarte Double Duty Beauty, but this is the original, not the hydrating one. And now listen, I am a makeup artist, so I can touch my own face with this, but I would not recommend this if you are working on other people. So anyhow, I just wanted to show you that, and then I'll finish with this. So next part, we were shipped off to Animal Kingdom Lodge now I'm gonna take this, sorry. I'm gonna take this little brush and kind of just blend it all in. We stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge the night before the sailing, and I will be really honest with you, I didn't know what to expect. They shipped us off to the port in like the most cattle call of ways. And if you watch the vlog, you understand. Let me just pin back my hair a little bit. So anyhow, we boarded the ship, and you had a boarding group like you normally would have a boarding group, but it was like super quick. I have to be really honest though, the vibe was just not there with boarding. And it's because a lot of, my brush is still kind of wet, so it's not blending as well as I'd like it to. The vibe was kind of different in a sense because there were people on this sailing that really didn't care about Disney, as far as, some influencers, some travel agents, some people who just were picked to go that kind of didn't care. So the Disney vibe, the Disney vibe itself, didn't really feel like it was there. Although it was extremely calm when boarding the ship, it just was different. It was just different. So the timings were also really different. Like, how when you board, if you haven't boarded a Disney cruise, you get a boarding group number, and you very, casually are boarded onto the ship. And then when you get on the ship, you're not able to get into your stateroom until about 2 p.m. And then you have your Musker drill at 3 o'clock. Sail away is usually at 4. And then the shops open at about 6. So with this sailing, because there was media on the ship and they technically couldn't be on the boat when we sailed away. So, excuse me one second. We have a buddy now. This is Ophelia. So anyhow, where was I? So the timings were just she just wants to steal my brushes. So the timings were just a wee bit off. So I think we still got into our staterooms at 2. The Musker drill wasn't till 4. And then sail away, I want to say, was right after. So thankfully, because I already knew, the ship layout is very similar to the Wish. Well, it's actually exactly the same to the Wish. I'm just going to go in and add a little more. So I was really able to get around easily, and I was able to hightail from 1923 up to deck 11 so that we could watch the sail away party. But I will say, the energy was so low. It was so low because you have all these people who are on this cruise, and whether they want to be on the cruise or not, they're not really Disney people, and it wasn't what I was expecting, if I'm being 100% honest. I mean, I always make the best of it. We made friends that we hung out with, but it wasn't a typical sailing. Okay, so next we are going to do this Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Bronzer. I love to go in with this. I kind of backfill it a little bit, and I have to use a different brush because my other one's wet. So this is not the normal brush I use, but it still does the trick. And believe me, this is just a quick job so I can talk to you guys while I'm getting ready. Anyhow, so sail away, I honestly, and I sound like such a brat about this, but I was expecting it to be kind of special, and it wasn't. So there was no confetti. The first time I had went on the Wish was embarkation year, or not, inaugural sailing year. And the sail away party, at the end, blew me away because there was so much confetti. I was shocked, right? Well, let me grab some lip balm because my lips are actually a little dry. I don't want to keep talking. So anyhow, we did the sail away party. It was fine. We made the best of it. Now we had hours to wait before dinner because, not dinner, We had second seating for dining, which I always recommend, 8:15 second seating. Personally, I prefer, just because if you're doing an excursion or you're off the boat, honestly, getting back and trying to get ready by 6 o'clock it's 5:45. It's kind of hard. So consider late dining. I know if you have kids, it's sometimes hard, but keep in consideration that you're on vacation. Kids stay up late anyway, so really, what's the difference? So anyhow, so our first night we ate at 1923 Park Fair. Now let's just get into the food. I was not a fan. Okay, before we get into the food, I'm using this jelly blush. Love it, Revolution. It's a great dupe for the milk one. I do have the milk one, and I actually did a little Instagram story about this. I really, really, really like this one. I love this one too, but this one's like half the cost. So let's just, and I am gonna go off camera and do my brows because it's just a little too involved. So I just quickly dot that on, and the brush that I generally use is right here. Okay. And then I'm just gonna quickly kind of like push this up underneath the eye a little bit because we want that flushy look. Now, again, this is just like my everyday, let's quickly get ready. This is not, how I run around with my makeup if I'm actually going out. All right, so the food on the Disney Treasure. What can I say? I'm not a foodie. I have to eat gluten-free. Am I celiac? No. I have an intolerance, but who doesn't at this point? I was tested. They did say I had issues, but anyhow, I digress. The food for me was not great. I know, I said it. It wasn't great. It's a soft opening. So when you're doing a soft opening, you don't necessarily always get the best of everything because they're learning, right? So like you can't expect for them to have everything perfect. So initially I just thought, oh, okay, well, they're short-staffed. Maybe they aren't, ready. Maybe they are giving some people some time off. We later found out that they were not short-staffed, that most of the people in the kitchen were new, so they didn't quite understand how the whole process worked. So needless to say, we did sit a lot, we did wait a lot, but hey, we didn't pay for the trip. We had nowhere to go, so we really couldn't complain much about it. My travel partner, Katie, who was also from my agency, she was able to have a little better of an experience with her food than I did, but that is not a deterrent for me, folks. Food is not like, if you come to my channel thinking that you're going to get all these food reviews, it's far and few between, so please, this is my opinion. This is not gospel, right? Next, I want to talk about the merch. Ooh. Let me do my brows first, but before I go off camera, I'm going to let you know I use the Glossier, it's like boy brow stick. I use a little bit of this brow blade. So, camera magic, I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So when I tell you I'm doing my brows so super quick, I'm literally just doing laundry today and editing this vlog and getting it up for you guys. So I'm not going to great lengths to make sure everything is perfect, but I just like to etch them in so that they look more natural. And then I'll take this pencil and just kind of, brush through. I do need to tint my brows because I'm needing a little more pencil than I normally do. So anyhow, that is my quick makeup routine. I'm going to add just a little bit more balm. I honestly don't wear mascara because it hurts my eyes. I'm having a little issue with winter skin, but that's not part of this video. So let's get back into it. Okay, so now the merch. Stores opened on the Disney Treasure, I think about 6 or 7 o'clock. I know this much. I missed the first night's show, which I think it's that Mickey one. Forgive me, I don't always know the words or the titles, these things. I did miss that because I wanted to get to the store because I wanted to film it thinking I was going to find something absolutely amazing, which Don't come for me, but I really, really, really disliked the branded merch for the treasure. I am not a teal person in any way, shape, or form. I think I have a few things that are teal, and that's just because, you know, I like the actual item, but people were going berserk for this merch right when it opened. And I stood in line because I did end up getting an ornament, which if you watch the vlog, you'll see it. And I'll clip it in here. But anyhow, I got an ornament and I did find a zip up, which I wore it the other day and there was like a string coming out. So I got those two things. I waited in line for a good 30 minutes, okay? Well, the joke was on me because then I went downstairs to kind of see if I could catch something of the show. And all of the things that everyone was clamoring for, the branded merch with the teal, what else was in there? There weren't ornaments in there, but there were some other things. And if you go back to that vlog, you'll see it. There was no one in line. And little secret, they were limiting what you purchased when I was upstairs. So I wanted to buy 2 of those zip ups, one for my mom, one for me. I am not a hoarder. I do not buy things and sell them online. I really think that's shameful. So I wanted to get one for my mother and they were like, oh, you can't buy 2 of the same size. They're limited. Well, I'm not gonna go back the next day for the other sweater. So I actually went downstairs and I bought it. So you didn't hear that from me. Anyhow, so the merch, I mean, they did have some really fun, like Haunted Mansion things, the Periscope Pub specific stuff. So if you go back into my vlogs, you will see that I did point out things that I thought were unique and things that you would want to get. I am not somebody who goes geeked out for like the general merch. If it's something unique, hence this spirit jersey, then I won't walk away from it. The shows, oh my gosh, Moana was amazing. The lead singer, and I forget her name, but the lead actress, she crushed it. Like, she legit crushed it. I did think, like, whoever they picked, all right, don't come for me. The lead for, oh my gosh, I can't think of his name. Oh my goodness, hold, I'll be right back. I really had to just Google. Anyhow, Maui, yes, it's Maui. I was a little okay, he is the actor who played Maui on the Disney Treasure was talented, but his body looked nothing like Maui's. I couldn't get past, I get it, but he just wasn't bulky like it, nothing. So that to me was like, all right, I get he was really good at the character part, but I maybe would have said, hey, you gotta put on a little bit of bulk to kind of portray Maui in its rightful way. So that was my only takeaway there. I loved the Beauty and the Beast one. I love the classics. I'm a classic kind of girl, and I loved how they infused the live action with the original tale and the set work and oh my gosh, the Be Our Guest part. That to me was literally the best. I actually preferred that to Moana, and you can make your, I'm shaking this. You can make your assumption but you can make up your mind of which one you personally like, but I'm just telling you, that's the one I personally liked, so don't miss that show. So even outside of like the main shows, the lounge acts, the cast members that were in the main atrium that were, I think it was Sage and I forget the other name, but they were all top notch. Everybody really crushed the performances, the music, all the entertainment, I thought was really amazing. The pianist in the Aristocats Lounge, I put some footage into my vlogs I don't want to get copyright struck, but anyhow, I thought they were really amazing. So you really, if you're an adult and you're just hanging out in the lounges, These lounge entertainers are absolutely amazing, so don't miss them. All right, so, you know, quick recap. I did really love the Treasure. I know that being on a preview sailing was completely different from a general sailing. Like, we didn't get a lot of the horn blowing. There was just some things that lacked, but I get it was because that this was a preview, it was a soft opening, and I was a guest, so that they could learn how to do better, which I have had friends on the Disney Treasure that have since sailed, and they are raving about it. The colors, the smells, the characters. Oh my gosh, the characters! I forgot to even touch on that. The characters were absolutely amazing. I mean, I get it, it was a preview sailing, so they did really up their game with the characters, especially my last night. It was a character palooza. I'm gonna try and insert some of that footage. It was the coolest thing ever. They had Spider-Man up in the balcony, then they had Aladdin and Jasmine, and then all the characters were together on the stage, and honestly, that was amazing. They had confetti coming down. It was just a huge storytelling moment for the Treasure, and just kind of recapping the adventure that you just went on, which, in my opinion, solidified the cruise. It was the chef's kiss of the entire cruise. So in that regard, I thought that it was better on the Disney Treasure, but it was a preview, so I'd have to go on a regular sailing to see if it's the same. But when I was on the Wish back in September, it was only a 3-night, and there were not a lot of characters out for a very long period of time. We didn't have a sea day, so we didn't have that opportunity to go and meet people. We did meet them at Castaway Cay, which we did do in December on the Treasure. And honestly, they did up it a notch, because I got a really great encounter with Captain Hook. And as I was coming off of the boat, Captain Jack Sparrow was coming on, and Captain Hook was going off, and they had this brief moment of, you know, like a quick little look. And honestly, I didn't even see them, because they were so quickly like walking past. They walked past me, and so I thankfully was out vlogging, but there was so much wind, and I'm so happy for this now, because now hopefully that will minimize that wind. But anyhow, all in all, I would say my experience on the Disney Treasure for preview sailings was 80% great. The low energy from the bougie influencers, and I'll be really honest, some travel agents really need to take it down a notch, because we are not in competition, and their attitudes were so prevalent on this sailing that it actually was annoying at a certain point. Like, I mean, I am not going to throw shade, but there were some big travel agents with some big accounts that were on this sailing, and I'm going to tell you what, I don't go for that. If you're acting snotty to me, but yet when you're in front of the camera, you're all, hey, hi, come see me, yeah. No, I am not about that life, and I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to catch me. I am always high energy, but when I want to shut down, I shut down, and I make sure that I always project my real personality on camera, because I never want to get to a point where, if I were to get big, which, I mean, that's not the goal, but if it happened, I would never want my personality to differ from what you're seeing on camera to what you're meeting if you meet me in a park. I want you to feel like, hey, this girl is upbeat, but there's times that I'm just like, I'm shutting down, I don't want to talk, which I get that. And maybe that was the vibe for some of them, but I'm going to tell you what, it wasn't. Dirty looks, a lot of eye rolling, a lot of shoving. I saw some really big influencers in Catscat Lounge. They weren't too happy with not having a primo table, and I just kind of had to laugh to myself. Like, who are you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who are you? Every scenario that I am in with Disney, it's one, because I'm a fan. 2, because I want to bring my excitement, my passion to my clients. And 3, I just want to have a hobby and vlog and be creative. And if this channel goes somewhere, great. But if But if it doesn't, I'm still gonna do it because it's fun for me. It's a great outlet for me to be creative. I love challenges, I love learning, and I'm sure you're probably dropping off and everyone's not watching at this point. So let me end this here. If you stuck around to this point, I appreciate it so much, and I would be ever so thankful if you could like, comment, subscribe. That really helps to push the channel forward. And if you have any questions, please put them in my comments. I am a big responder. My phone is in my hand constantly. So if I'm not working, I am constantly trying to see what's going on in the social media world so that I can reply to people, because I think it's important to create that bond. So if you have a question, Ophelia says, she's telling you right now, put it in the comments. Anyhow, thank you for getting ready with me. I think what's going to happen next is I'm going to start doing a little bit more of these get ready with me and kind of come in with different subjects when it comes to Disney, Universal, all the travel. So give me whatever you want, and you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and do all the things. Bye.